Good morning, fiddle friends and bluegrass buddies. It's your old pal Mike Mitchell here at the Floyd Music School. And I wanted to start off by quickly saying thank you to the fiddlers, my fellow fiddlers who introduced themselves to me a couple of weeks ago and in Chattanooga at the IBMA World of Bluegrass event. It means a whole lot to hear from you guys. It helps keep me going, gives me a darn good reason to do this, and to know that it's of some usefulness to you guys means a whole lot. It also gives me really good insight, really valuable insight into what I should be presenting. And oftentimes I'm presenting things at the advanced or professional level, and that's not where everyone is. So my apologies if I've overloaded my lessons on that level. I'll try to be more balanced in the things I'm offering. And a lot of them need to be fundamentals. I know for me in my playing, the more I play scales and fundamentals and bowing exercises, the better professional recording and performing fiddler I am. So yeah, let's do that today. So many times it's, hey Mike, what two notes do I use for this chop? Or what note can I add to this melody note to make a double stop, to make my solo more interesting or my fiddle tune more interesting? Really good questions. And today we'll just explore all of the possible double stops in the key of G. What makes a chord? What makes a chord is the first, the third, and the fifth note in any given scale. So in the G scale, G, A, B, C. Fifth one is D, E, F sharp, seventh, and G. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and that's it. And I'm not sure if I recommend using a gut core string. I had to put one on my D a couple weeks ago because I just don't have a new set. And gosh, is it unruly. It sounds nice though. So the first, the third, and the fifth note would be G, B, and D. Let's go from the very bottom to the very top and figure out where we can find all those, okay? The first one for me is kind of obvious. The G and D string drone. Very respectable. We can drone all day long in bluegrass and old time fiddle playing, and other styles as well, of course. But so that's the first one. The next one I can think of would be putting the B underneath the D. And then, of course, we have a unison, two Ds. Then we have a G over B, a G over D. Not super comfortable. I don't use this one often, certainly not in chopping, but it's there, it's possible. Now I'm on this G again, so I'm looking at the next octave. Of course I could do it in third position. We'll get to that, sliding these things. So the next one then I believe would be G under B. And please, you might notice I'm looking at a tuner on my desk. When you're practicing your double stops, by all means, don't just use your ear. Double check your work with a tuner. Use technology to your benefit, right? But don't close off your ear either, whatever you do. So I look at my two notes. They're both green enough, and then I play them together and really listen. Then we have B over D. Then what do we have? We have another D over G, this one with a fat finger. And that brings me to D. Of course, I can put a G above it. And then a B over that D. And then I can go up into third position. And put a D over G there. That's all the possible combinations that we've got. Now, where does this fit into your backup? If you're gonna do chopping or shuffles. What I like to tell folks is figure out where the solo is that you are supporting. That's why you're doing this. Backing up, chopping, you're not there to show off or flex your musical muscle. You're there to support someone else while they do their job. So wherever the singer is singing or wherever the instrument is playing, the banjo, the guitar, well, oftentimes with the guitar, we need to remember that less is very much more, and sometimes don't play at all. Just watch as Greer does it. Watch this and just smile and be very impressed. Or the mandolin, figure out where those instruments, or the dobro, figure out where those instruments are soloing or where the singer is singing, and play your double stops somewhere else. Really, really good advice for all of us to remember. Play your double stops somewhere else. So if you've got a gal singer or a really high tenor and they're up here in this area, then do your chop or your shuffle down here or down here. If you've got a guitar or a mandolin playing on low notes, you may want to, right, or here, be somewhere else on the keyboard, really. Be somewhere else in pitch so that it doesn't step on or get in the way of where the singer or the soloist is. That's my best advice for how to judge this, right? Where do I play? Which double stop do I choose? Now I've got some more advice. I've always got some more advice, don't I? In bluegrass music, thirds rule. Thirds are grassy. Sixths are not as grassy. By the way, I think, speaking of, I skipped over one possible, which was G over B. Very classical sounding, right? Right? Now you can slide into one. And Baker used it every now and again. I'm thinking of that at the end of Grassy Fiddle Blues. But for the most part, that's our sound, right? So thirds, and they're easily slid. And the way we do that is take B over G. I'm going to take this finger and I'm going to slide it up the D string until it sounds the same as that finger. And of course, the index is attached, so it's going to slide up as well, and it's going to take the pitch of D. So I'm B over G. I'm going to slide my G up to where B is. And if I keep my index finger perpendicular to it, or in tandem, I should say, and it's a really, really good lick or tool to have in your, not for backup though, obviously. I hope that's obvious to everyone. Then we have the G over D. Same process. This slides to where this is. Now that's a little bit higher up on the fingerboard, so it's not, the fingers aren't exactly equidistant in tandem. You're going to have to adjust to get the pitch of B. And that's where we can do the what I call the donkey lick, the hee-haw. That we all love and maybe possibly overuse. But that's, and it works in the other key as well, obviously. So I think that covers it, my friends. I'm not going to get into different styles of chopping. You know, that's a whole other discipline, and there's no one like Casey Dreesen. So if you're wanting to improve your chop, just go to Casey's website and buy those videos. You know, that's the top. You know, he's forgotten more about chopping than most of us are ever going to learn. Daryl Anger, of course. Those cats are massively talented percussive fiddle players. So I would go there. But I hope that this helps. And you know, I hope that you were able to employ this. Don't just grab 2 or 3 of them and make them your go-to. Really listen to where you're applying this in when you're playing rhythm, when you're chopping or shuffling. Really listen and make sure that you're choosing ones, thirds and fifths preferably. Sixths are okay, but thirds and fifths are, you know, they're more grassy. So you just make sure that you're listening, always listening more than playing, even listening to make and being decisive in what double stop you choose to apply to stay away from the soloist or vocalist. And then I guess the last thing is, I'll just say it again, be in tune. As in tune as we can be on these things, right? It's so important. Play scales. Yeah, there you go. And then play Roanoke a whole lot. And just practice these double stops. I'm always here for feedback, even if you want to film or you know, record you playing some double stops. Get a hold of me at Floyd Music School. Always readily available for feedback, and just enjoy it. Have fun with it, and I'll see you all next time.